welcome to my making journey. My name is Cata and I am filming from Valparaiso, Chile in South America. In this video, this video was filmed in August of last year. It is now October 2025, so it's been a while. You'll see my hair is very different in the video. So I finally edited it, and it is a tutorial for burlap curtains. I own a guest house here in Valparaiso, and I made curtains back in the day. They were canvas, and then I switched to burlap, which is a material I really like for home decor. And so I thought, why not set up or make a tutorial, because it's such an easy project and it looks really nice. It's cheap, and I think it dresses a room really nicely. You'll get to see the comparison for yourself later on in the video. In my videos, you can expect just things that I like to make, the process of my making journey, and a couple of easy tutorials, and also a little bit of Valparaiso. Many of you probably have never been here. Many of you maybe have, I don't know. But anyway, I really love the city I live in, and I like to show snippets of it. Today, you'll get to see the guest house itself. So with no further ado, here's the tutorial. Everyone, so we decided to change the curtains of two of the rooms in the guest house from canvas curtains to a burlap curtain. So I went out and bought burlap, and I thought, oh, maybe I should just do a little quick video about how I make them, in case anybody wants to reproduce it. It's very cheap. It's very carne de perro, as we say in Spanish, like very hardy. They withstand a lot. These are very tall. Our windows or our curtains are about 12 feet long, so they're very heavy, and these are light. This is really easy to do. First, obviously, measure how much distance you have from the curtain rod that you're going to use all the way down to the floor. And to that, I like to add 20 to 25 centimeters, extra centimeters. So then I calculate, I'm using these are very narrow windows, or relatively narrow windows. So I'm going to use just 2 panels of this, very easy. For wider windows, I've put 2 together on each side. And at the top, you're gonna reinforce this, because this is where your hooks are gonna go. So you're gonna reinforce it on the inside with a piece of cloth that's sturdy. I've used blackout, like when we recycle the blackout curtains, I've sometimes taken strips for that. You can use canvas, a jean, a type of denim. Anyway, lots of different things, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So in order to cut it, once you know how much you have, how much you need, I'm going to do 3 meters and 25 per piece for 3-meter curtains. Okay, so I'm doing like this much more of fabric. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my piece. All right, so now we're going to cut across. And the easiest way to cut burlap, when this is rolled up, sometimes the burlap moves, and so it stays like that. And when you unroll it and you cut your piece, you can cut it lopsided. So in order to avoid that, if you ever buy it, make sure they use this technique. Otherwise, if you do it yourself, you're gonna cut where you measured. This was for us 3 meters and 25. And then you're gonna open it and you're gonna grab the nearest thread, and you're going to pull it like this. And this way, you're going to make sure, give me a second, it's a little tangled. There we go, keep going, keep going. I just move it all the way to the end, and then it either breaks like it did now, or I pull it and break it. All right, so now, as you can see, we have a line that has been formed from the missing thread that we took out, right? And now with your scissors, you're just gonna cut in between that opening, right down the middle. And that's how you're gonna make sure that your piece is nice and straight. And that's how you get a nice straight line. So I am ready to start, to finish. It's just super easy to make these curtains. So I'm ready to finish the curtains by putting this section. This is some recycled blackout fabric, but you can use whatever you want. I like it because it's like plasticky, so it's pretty firm. Okay, so here is where we cut it. You can see it's nice and straight. And now all I'm going to do is fold this in two. For some other curtains I've made, I did this much wider, but I don't have that much material this time around, that much burlap, so I just want to make sure that I don't come out short when I hang them. I want these to be nice and long and to touch the ground in case I have to wash them, because then they do shrink, but it's rare that we wash these. So I'm just going to fold it. In the meantime, I'm going to put some weight on it to hold it down. Just want to make sure this comes out right. This. All right, and now I'm going to get my pins. So you're just going to pin all the way down. You can make as many folds as you want. I'm just going to do one fold because as I said already, I want to make sure that this is a very, very long curtain. And then I'm going to do a double stitch twice. And with that, we should be good. I changed the pins to the front side so I can see them better. And now with the machine, I'm going to go all around this rectangle, like all the way to the other side of the piece of fabric, of the burlap, and then come back and around. Make sure to double back stitch and go. You want to keep it taut because burlap sometimes starts shifting and it can bend and look wonky. So try to keep it as straight as possible. So this is what it looks like. Double stitch here, double stitch here. It could perfectly be a zigzag. And this is the back. I could have folded it one more time so it wouldn't unravel, but it won't unravel. I've made many of these and I did the first a few years ago, so it's not going to unravel. So I'm just going to be lazy and do it like that. And now all I'm going to do is wait for tomorrow to hang it, put on the hooks, hang it, and then do the bottom portion by hand. And here's a tour of Casa California, my home in Valparaiso, Chile. For the lobby, we drew inspiration from the old speakeasies of the 1920s. Here, our guests have breakfast and get together for drinks and things like that. This is our wall of ancestors. That's my great-great-grandmother, Mercedes Reyes, who was born on this hill, but I'm not sure what house. This is our hallway on the first floor. We have some artwork that belongs to my parents, who are co-owners. And here is room 5. It's the first one downstairs, one of our most popular rooms. And next to it is room 4. This is the only room that I have not made curtains for because it doesn't have large windows that need them. This is what our bathrooms look like. This is the bathroom in room 4, but they're all pretty much the same, very kind of industrial. That's me, hello. And this is the view of the same hall from the other side. And we're going upstairs. This is one of my favorite areas of the house, the second floor. I love it because I have plants here and there's nice lighting. Here's Max dancing. He loves to play in this area as well. This is room 3. And here are the curtains that I made for this room. They look a little bit wrinkled because they were washed, and that's the reason why I don't normally wash them. It leaves them a little bit wrinkled and kind of looser to the touch. So I prefer them more stiff, and I prefer not to wash them for that reason. These were overlapped. This is a wider window, so they were overlapped. So as you can see at the top, they share a few hooks. So this side shares hooks with that side, and it's about a foot that they overlap. I think despite the fact that I washed them and they're a little bit wrinkled, they still look nice. There's still a few years in them. This is room 2. I love the floor in this room, and it's the only room with 2 beds. Here, what I did for the curtain was just stitch it all the way down. It has 2 panels on each side, and I stitched it all the way down and hemmed it with a very, very visible stitch that I think looks quite nice. Here is our patio, and if you saw my tutorial of pillowcases, you've seen these pillowcases. I love this wall. I love this space. It's nice and green. This wall is about 150 years old. And on this side is one of my favorite objects that I've made at the house, my pond in a pot. Here is some artwork that we have going to the 3rd floor. And here is room 6. This is one of the newer rooms. I really like it because you have to step down into these rooms. That's the only way that we could keep height. And here's room 7, the largest room in the house. As I said, we stepped down into these rooms because we wanted to keep the height, and we couldn't keep going up because of the laws, so we went down. Finally, this is our little view area. We have a small terrace with some plants, and this is the view from that space. This view never gets old. It's absolutely gorgeous on any day, at any time. Hi. So now that we have taken the curtains off, we're going to take these hooks off and transfer them to the other curtain. Sometimes it's a little hard to get off. These are the hooks that I'm using. I'm sure there's plenty different ones in the market. All right, so now we're going to put them on here. This is not very long, probably about a yard. And I like to, the easiest way for me is to put one hook on each side on each end of the curtain, then one in the middle, and then calculate the distance for the rest of them. For this, I'm just going to put 7. I think it should be more than enough. So here we go. All right, so I'm ready to make the hem. As you know, I hemmed it at the top very little with a piece of thick fabric to be able to put the hooks on it. And I left most of the length at the bottom. This is only, well, for 2 reasons. One, the hem is going to be quite long, it's going to be touching the floor. So I want it to be that way, but I want to make sure that in the future, if I have to wash the the curtains, then they will probably shrink. This is not pre-washed. And so I want to make sure that I have enough to take down if need be. So in order to do the hem, I just sort of eyeball it and calculate a place to fold inwards so that I don't do anything to the cut that I made. I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't really care if it unravels a little bit because I have so much length. But you might want to do a little hem or overlock or whatever. So what I'll do is I'll calculate this, and I'm going to respect the thread running all the way to the other side to know where to fold, and I'm going to do the same to know where to pin. So I'm just going to follow this thread here and this thread here, and that way I know it'll be nice and straight. So there we go, like that. About this length. All right, so now I'm going to get on the other side just because it makes it easier. And I'm literally going to keep an eye on the thread where I make the fold and the top thread where the fold meets on the rest of the fabric. And then I'm going to pin. Doesn't matter what side you pin, but I'm just going to pin on this side, and I'm going to do that all the way down. And once I have it ready, I'm just going to check it, make sure that it's correct. The only thing about burlap is that it sheds a lot, so you're going to be vacuuming often at the beginning, but they look so good. All right, so here is the hem. As you can see, it's quite long, and it looks good to me here. So I'm gonna do one little stitch down here just to keep this in place, this fold that I made, and then go all the way up and all the way down to the other side. And I just do a small stitch, probably a 1/16, an 1/8 of an inch or something like that. And then underneath, I move about, I don't know, maybe 2 inches. It's just so that it holds. I'm not doing anything particularly special here. And then once you're done, just take out all the pins. When you get to the other one, you just want to make sure that they're the same length. Duh. It's easier said than done, but I more or less know that these were the exact same size. So as long as I follow the amount that I folded on this side, I should be okay. Obviously, you can see that I am not very scientific about it. There we go. Like that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it useful. I'd be interested to know if you prefer the white canvas curtains or the burlap. You can put a comment below. Tell me which one you like the most. If you didn't like the video, I hope you like the next one. If you did like it, I would really appreciate you hitting the like button. And thank you for watching all the way to the end. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.